So front page of the New York Times, Obama in a bind trying to keep the health care law vow. And they're working to try and figure out how to do that. So it's not like, you know, he's digging in and standing by the comment. He apologized for it,
listen,
too.
This is very clear. You go back through history, George H.W. Bush, read my lips, no new taxes. You either keep that pledge or you break that pledge. It's the same thing with George W. Bush and WMDs. The president's either going to keep that pledge or he's not going to keep that pledge. This is not political. This is just reality. And for millions and millions of Americans, it's going to have an impact. His numbers, Willie, are lower than they've ever been, and I can't believe that it's not attached to this issue specifically.
Well, it is almost certainly attached to this issue, and yes, he's apologized for it, but the problem persists. So it's okay to apologize, but you've got to fix the problem. And we talk about a seminal moment or a tipping point when you have Bill Clinton and Steny Hoyer and Dick Durbin. These are not wild-eyed Tea Party guys intent on taking down the president. They're now coming out publicly, people who are big supporters of President Obama, and say, look, we got to do something about this provision. This has gone too far. This is not about a broken website anymore. We could explain that away and say it'll be fixed someday. This is about the substance of the law that's hurting some percentage of Americans.
Johnny, let me ask you this. We always actually put on your cap because this is the stuff that you did.
This is what you do.
The largest companies in the world. If you had a company, let's say you used to do GM.
Right.
Yeah.
True story.
Right, true story. And if they had a massive rollout, the most important rollout in GM history, and it was an utter failure, like this has been the launch, just the launch. I'm not judging the substance of just for this fact pattern I'm giving you. And they couldn't get it fixed unless they shut production down, recalled the cars, and went back and redesigned it from start to finish. And it might delay the biggest launch in GM history for 6 months. And you had a CEO that knew he had his job for at least another 3.5 years. Wouldn't you tell them, guys, shut production down, start over again? I know Ford's going to kick your ass. I know Chrysler's going to mock you. I know Toyota and all of your rivals are going to use this as an opportunity to make you look weak. But this is the strongest move you can make.
Yeah, I think he's in a quagmire either way, to tell you the truth. It's once a movie has an opening weekend and it fails, it's very hard to put that genie back in the bottle. My concern with this is we are asking people to modify their behavior, which is difficult to begin with. So now we have this kind of debacle out of the gate, starting with 100,000 people signing up, 5 million people losing their health insurance. It's been so tarnished that I don't know how you put the genie back in the bottle. It was so difficult getting here that even if he does that, which says, you know what, do over, time out, reboot, I think that the perception right now is so damaged. I don't know if he ever, I don't know if this legislation ever fully comes back from this.
Can I challenge you for a second? A movie, obviously, it has its opening weekend. If it's a bust, if it's Heaven's Gate, it's Heaven's Gate.
Right.
But what if it has to work?
And you can't do a re-release, all right?
Right.
But in this case, if the Affordable Care Act, they shut it down for 6 months and say we're going to launch this in the middle of next summer, and then they launch it, and the website works, the call centers work, people can get insurance, and like the Pensacola friend that I have that had 2 kids with pre-existing conditions that was able to whiz through it in about 15 minutes, 30 minutes, sign it up, get insurance for less, and then tell all of their Republican friends, hey, look what just happened to us. It's not quite like a movie. If it works, then it works for everybody.
It's not quite like a movie, but this, I am concerned. I mean, in a ideal world, that's going to work.
Your instincts.
My instincts tell me that right now the American public is so soured on this that even with a reboot, the acceptance level.
So you're hired to fix it. What do you do?
There's a term in advertising called permission to believe. You know, you got to give consumers permission to believe.
Right.
And I am really, really concerned that I'm not saying it's completely irreparable, but the core essence of it, this thing right now is damaged.
Joe was just asking, you're hired to fix this.
Hired to fix this. I hopefully find another job first before I have to take this job. I basically, that's the
that bad?
First of all, I take the one bellwether.
Is it fixable?
No, the one bellwether is you've got to give him back. You got to unbreak your broken promise. That's the kind of right now, that's the lightning rod. That's the one thing I do is say, you know what? This has to change, because then at least there's the perception that you're listening and you fix. So that's the one thing I address, and then do the other thing piecemeal. I still think...
So you agree with Bill Clinton? He's got to keep the promise, or else you've broken...
That is at least a perception.
Let's not act like Bill Clinton came up with this idea. The White House has already been working on how to fix it.
Unfortunately,
I think he just...
That's not necessarily the right thing to do, because that almost defeats the purpose of legislation, because it lets the insurance companies, you know, go back to where they were.
Talk about that.